Testing. Welcome back, True Seeker. May 1st, 1776 was the day the Illuminati was born, just before the American Revolution, making today, May 1st, 2023, the 247th birthday of the Illuminati. Someone pointed out in the chat the 76ers are about to tip off, and they are big underdogs against the Celtics tonight. If they surprise the Celtics, it is true they would get their 247th playoff win. They're currently on 246, while the United States is 246 years old. It'll turn 247 in July. But anyhow, let's talk about the headlines on this Illuminati birthday, May 1st, 2023. Recall when the Chinese spy balloon took over the airwaves of American media? That was February 2nd, the 33rd day of the year. Now today, on the Illuminati's birthday, supposedly another balloon traveling from Hawaii to Mexico. And what do you know? Both those locations have that Gematria 33 infamous number, important to Freemasonry, which the Illuminati said it would like to take over back in 1776. Also on the birthday, Aerosmith announcing that they are calling it quits after one last tour. And all the media emphasized peace out, the phrase they used to talk about their 40-date tour. But anyway, just notice that today, the Illuminati's birthday, the lead singer of Aerosmith, Steven Tyler, he has that same Gematria like Illuminati. Go figure. And again, if you're new here, Gematria is the elementary practice of coding numbers into words. It goes back to Babylon. There's 4 base ciphers that you really want to know. And just to take that Illuminati thing further with Aerosmith, notice that the band name, the way it's spelled, it has Gematria of 135 and 54 when you run the alphabetic order in reverse and reverse numerology. In those same ciphers, Bavaria equals 135 and 54, and that is where the Illuminati was founded, May 1st, 1776. That's why it was first called the Bavarian Illuminati. So, Aerosmith with the big announcement today, all the media emphasizing peace out for the last tour. Notice it's going to be 40 dates, and they're touring with the Black Crows. Black Crows has that Gematria 40. Peace Out has that Gematria 40. Big numbers here in the U.S. United States 40. Just the abbreviation U.S. also 40. Again, that's because with the alphabetic order, you use the 21st letter. S is the 19th. 21 plus 19, 40. With numerology, United States becomes 40. You just take the alphabetic order and then apply numerology. So for example, U, the 21st letter, would become 2 plus 1 is 3. So use 3 instead of 21. And the 14th letter is 1 plus 4 is 5. So N is 5. Thus you get smaller number values for each letter. How United States can equal 40 and US. So Peace Out 40, Black Crows 40, who they're touring with, United States 40, 40-date tour. Again, this stuff's clockwork. We've seen this, with Michael Jackson, Madonna, and many others. Okay. For another 48, today Donald Trump announces he is going to do a town hall on CNN. And historically, he'd only been on Fox. He likes to do interviews with Sean Hannity and Tucker Carlson, who recently left by the numbers the same day Don Lemon was fired at CNN. But as we talked about so many times, Donald Trump has that Gematria 48, like Illuminati, like Hollywood, which he's a member of, like Ronald Reagan. And again, just this rare announcement. And it also reminds that the Illuminati was founded by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt, and the Jesuit fingerprints are all over Trump because he's Jesuit educated, as well as CNN, who has CIA assets doing the nightly news like Anderson Cooper when the CIA was established in a big Jesuit ritual once upon a time in 1947 on the date September 18th. But, Donald Trump going to CNN. And by the way, another 48 word that should be up there is Atlanta. Atlanta 48. That's where CNN's headquartered. So what an announcement for today. And just for a little math, Atlanta's on the 33rd parallel, the divisors of 33, 1, 3, 11, 33. they add up to 48. There's a relationship with 33 and 48, just like how you got your big 33 ritual with the balloon today. And for the record, they said they spotted the balloon on the 118th day of the year. The news breaks today. Balloon equals 118. If you missed all of our coverage of the balloons back in February, you can go back and check that out. Of course, it was all by the numbers. So, also happening today on the Illuminati's birthday, J.P. Morgan Chase, as predicted, has continued to grow and benefit from the banking crisis. Remember, First Republic first had its big collapse on Jamie Dimon's birthday, the CEO of J.P. Morgan Chase. And again, the actual J.P. Morgan back in the day, he got off the Titanic as it set sail. And of course, the Titanic, its fate was similar to the book Futility, Wreck of the Titan, where the largest boat ever built, the Titan, not far from Titanic, it was sailing from Europe to the U.S. on its first sail, hits an iceberg and sinks. If you don't know about that book, look it up. It came out a decade before the Titanic. A boat that J.P. Morgan got off at the last minute, meaning he must have had intelligence that most other people didn't have, or information, I should say. But now on the Illuminati's birthday, J.P. Morgan Chase, their stock value's up. And again, this started on Jamie Dimon's birthday. Now they get the full acquisition. The big fish grows bigger. And notice, at the time that they shut it off for First Republic Bank, the stock had collapsed 43% today. Today had a lesser date numerology of 29. The word collapse equals 29. And when you run it in reverse, 43. So down 43%, they shut it off. JP Morgan comes in and buys it. Collapse also 29. And for the record, in those same ciphers, the word Masonic is 29 and 43. It reminds of the Illuminati's intentions of overtaking Freemasonry. So Masonic 2943 like collapse. Again, what are the odds? Also about the First Republic thing, another thing that screams out, First Republic. We live in a democratic republic that was established in 1776, right after the Illuminati. Notice that in the reporting today, it says First Republic's 84 branches opened on Monday as branches of J.P. Morgan Chase. 84. This is happening in the Democratic Republic to First Republic. And again, in that same cipher where United States is 40, United States of America is 84. Big number in this nation. The Catholic Church is 84. The Jesuit Order's 84. Again, the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt founded the Illuminati. Jesuit alone is 84. So is Masonry. A Jesuit founds the Illuminati, who has the plans of overtaking Freemasonry. So again, I mean, isn't the symbolism clear? And at the beginning of the nation, there was a debate about central banks and should they exist. And people like Thomas Jefferson wildly opposed to central banks, saying that if you ever allow a central bank to issue money for a nation, then it will control the nation. And again, J.P. Morgan, just always with these rituals and clearly showing signs of being in the, the powerful network that is the Illuminati. Yeah, there's a few other things that are interesting about that. But yeah, we'll just leave it at that point. At the time of the J.P. Morgan purchase, the stock value of J.P. Morgan Chase went up to $141. The CEO of First Republic, Michael J. Rothler, $141. His name also 84, like the 84 branches. His name's 78 and 84, like the word Jesuit. Okay, also in the world of banking, Janet Yellen. Remember, Janet Yellen on January 20th, date written 20/1 like 201. The 201st day of the nation's age is January 20th. Inauguration day every 4 years. Reminding that Beau Biden died at age 46, 201 days before the Pope's birthday, the first Jesuit Pope, the first to live in Suite 201. But again, Janet Yellen, who said on January 20th that we could have financial cataclysm in June if we don't do something about the debt ceiling. Back then, she was making it sound more the middle of June. Now she's saying the 1st of June is how soon it could happen. Of course, that's a month from today. And Janet Yellen, she's 76 years old right now, like the Illuminati founded in 76, like Donald Trump being 76 years old right now. And, you know, she went to Yale, where Skull and Bones is, the 76322 order. By the way, Trump today, this news comes on his 322nd day of his age. The founder of the Illuminati died on the 322nd day of the year. The Illuminati connected to the Catholic Church, like Skull and Bones at Yale, that identifies by the number 322. But Trump and Yellen, both 76 years old right now. She has the Yale connections. He has the Jesuit connections. Today being the Illuminati's birthday and her saying this, remember, Adam Weishaupt renamed the Order of Illuminati. 201 in the most simple cipher. He would die in history November 18th, 322 days from the anniversary of the establishment. Kind of like Trump today on his 322nd day of his age, the same guy who buried his ex-wife 45 years after their marriage on the 201st day of the year. Of course, she died in the big Jesuit ritual, as we talked about last summer on July 14th. And their child, Donald Jr., born on the 201st day of Trump's age, their wedding was a big 201 ritual. Again, if you're new here, 201. Huge number with the Illuminati. And Adam Weishaupt, the Jesuit, he was Jewish. He was aware of Jewish mysticism, which is another 201 word. The Holy Bible, which begins with the Jewish teachings and the Torah. The Holy Bible 201. In the first book of the Bible, Genesis 3:22 mentions the tree of life, which is the physical model for Kabbalah, which is the key element in Jewish mysticism. You see how all these things are 201? But again, the Holy Bible, Jewish mysticism, both 201. Genesis 3:22 mentions the tree of life that has 3 pillars, 22 paths. The tree of life, the physical model for Kabbalah, where this whole thing of letters and numbers comes from. Just where all this stuff fits in. Order of Illuminati 201. Adam Weishaupt dead on the 322nd day of the year, 201 days after the anniversary of its establishment. Again, how all this stuff fits. You know, Batman, in the Batman series, it comes out in the 33rd episode of the original TV series that Batman's grandfather founded Yale Skull and Bones. We just saw Trump in the ritual in the courthouse for Yom Kippur the week after the Joker filming, when he claims to be Batman, and the day he was in court was the 322nd day of the current Batman actor's age. And in light of today being the 5th month, first day of the 5th month, 5115, just knows where Batman also fits in. You know, Trump's going on CNN. Mr. I Am Batman. Okay. Also, Order of Illuminati rituals. Notice the other gematria of Order of Illuminati. It's got that 105. Today in Washington State, where I live, Jay Inslee, who just put through the gun control legislation for the state to undermine the Second Amendment, right after he gets that done, he says he's out of there. He's been governor for 10 years, and that's plenty. And notice, again, from the day that they first voted on the gun control legislation in Washington State, March 8th, to the day Inslee signed the bill, 49 days. Gun control in Washington, both 49. Today, on a date with 49 numerology, he announces he's resigning. His full name, J. Robert Inslee, 227, the 49th prime. And he became governor on the date January 16th, 2013. That means today is 105 days after the anniversary of him becoming governor. The other person who announced they were stepping down today in the world of politics who won't seek re-election is the Maryland Senator Ben Cardin, who's born on 10/5. And you might recall it was in 2021, but I remember it was September 3rd, the date September 3rd, they had all these rituals going on 9/3 with 201 and 105. We were just documenting them all day. So again, just seeing how all these numbers come together. Order of Illuminati, 201. 93, 258, 105. That 258 also plays. It's probably out there if I look at more stories today. But again, you can see who's in the club. And who do you think told Ben Cardin and Jay Inslee to announce today that they won't seek re-election? Again, these guys are in the club and they're used like puppets on strings. And pretty much what all these politicians do is undermine what the nation's supposed to be out day by day. You know, new law by new law, which are always based on, you know, some latest story we're supposed to believe in, some new threat, which is the excuse to undermine our rights and liberties. And, yeah, I mean, just this other thing, too. The Texas manhunt up today, front page, right? He was deported 4 times. He's connected to this killing, where 4 is this number associated with death. Today's 1/5, Texas 15. We talked about last year what happened with the Uvalde shooting in Texas in May, and the ritual with 15. We'll see. We'll see when they announce that they've captured him, this manhunt that's employed all of these agents of the government and all these tax dollars to build up the reason for why we need, you know, these massive amounts of men and equipment to get these psychopaths out there that are a threat to our way of life. When in reality, it's like, are these stories even happening, or are these just the excuses to show, you know, the military police force that's been built up in the post 9/11 era, where all this money's been spent on militarizing our police? Also today, the whole 201 thing. Remember, Sundar Pichai 201. Google had the mass layoffs on January 20th, where employees found out by email. But anyhow, one of their employees today, who's considered the godfather of AI, is stepping down to now warn about AI and what it could mean for humanity and how bad this could be in the very near future. Again, if you've not read my last book, Number Games, I talk about, you know, the scale that all of this is happening at in light of the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey that came out in 1968, that very infamous year where so many agendas went into motion, and why 52 years later was 2020 when we had the pandemic and big tech and government merged to create a whole new level of surveillance state. And today in New York, actually it was announced last night, Eric Adams announced that they're giving out all these free Apple AirPods to put on people's cars to do something about the theft. All this crazy theft because of the recent changes in recent years to create additional crime so that people will beg for the surveillance state. And again, it comes in a friendly way. People trust Apple products. Yeah, I'll put that on my car so it doesn't get stolen. But what are they doing with all this data and information? And how use are we getting to big tech and government collaborating to keep surveillance over the population? But see, people will do it because they want to protect their property. They want to feel safer. Also today, the Met Gala began in New York, and this year they're paying tribute to the death of the designer Karl Lagerfeld, who died 4 years ago, the number of death. They waited 4 years. I noticed he died on February 19th. In case you're new here, I just want to remind of another thing on February 19th. Antonin Scalia. You see how his name's 132-219? The other numbers there are interesting as well. But notice Roman Catholic, 132-219. He was the first Roman Catholic Supreme Court Justice. His body lay in repose on February 19th, 219, the same day that in 2011, the same day, February 19th, that Nike released the short film, The Black Mamba, with Kobe Bryant, Kanye West, Bruce Willis, which ends with an exploding helicopter. And then again in 2016, in Kobe's last game, they gave out a toy helicopter at his last game. And then in November of that year, he came out with the Kobe Bryant After Death shoe. And then 6 days later, or was it 6 days prior actually, the Comedy Central cartoon of Kobe dying in a helicopter accident. But anyway, the first predictive programming for Kobe's death was on 2/19. Antonin Scalia, the first Roman Catholic Supreme Court Justice, his body lay in repose at the Supreme Court on 2/19. This man who they're paying tribute to today at the Met Gala died on 2/19. And notice how Roman Catholic is 132. Again, so was Antonin Scalia, if you noticed. And so is Catholic Church. and so is England, and so is United States of America. Just as a reminder, from the Illuminati's establishment to the naming of the United States of America, September 9th, 1776, was a span of 132 days, like there's 132 rooms at the White House where they put in the president every year or every 4 years on the very Illuminati day, January 20th. And in case you don't know about the latest president, look up the name Leo Jeremiah O'Donovan, Jesuit priest from Georgetown. He did the funeral for Beau Biden and the inauguration for Joe Biden. Beau Biden dead at 46, Joe Biden number 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday. Again, Beau Biden dead 201 days before the Pope's birthday. The first Jesuit Pope, the first to live in Suite 201. And where Leo Jeremiah O'Donovan's 201, so is Jorge Mario Bergoglio, the name of Pope Francis. Just like Ignatius Loyola, the founder of the Jesuits, is 201, like Order of Illuminati. So, anyhow, this guy, they waited 4 years to pay tribute to him. Again, the number of death. And perhaps that's what they'll do with Kobe as well. Doesn't that make sense? Because then the memorial would come out 4 years later in 2024 when he finished his career with number 24. Like Beyonce got her 24th Grammy in the building where Kobe played the day he died at the Grammys. And just for the record, again, Jesuit order 144.54. Kobe dead 144 days from Beyonce's birthday, 54 days from Jay-Z's. And goes with Kobe Bean Bryant, 54. Dead the weekend before Super Bowl 54, a game that Jay-Z attended. Anyway, and by the way, just Jesuit Order 54, coming back to the Illuminati, Bavaria 54. Okay. This image they chose of him with the white cat, I don't know enough about the occult symbolism of white cat. There's probably something there, but the 3546 goes with Catholic. The 127 goes with Bavarian Illuminati. And again, the Bavarian Illuminati wanted to infiltrate Freemasonry, like Scottish Rite of Freemasonry is 127, like Pearl Harbor's on December 7th, 127, like how 9/11 was called the New Pearl Harbor and buildings 127 fell, and then they called it Ground Zero. 127 and 2 towers became 0 before they became 1, like the Jesuit Georgetown motto, both into 1. And let's see. CNN, their article about his death, Karl Lagerfeld, when he died, they saved it for the 51st day of the year. And now on 5/1, this tribute to him. And again, Adam Weishaupt, the founder of the Illuminati, whose name was 51. Oh, I guess that goes with the... I missed that in the J.P. Morgan Chase stock price at the time of the acquisition at $141. Hold on, let's see if that's what it closed at the end of the day. Let's see what it finished at the end of the day. It finished at 141.20. And we talked about how the CEO of First Republic, his name was 141 and 84, like the 84 branches, and Adam Weishaupt's also 141. I mean, again, it's just like, what's it going to take for people to see that this stuff is all way beyond coincidence? Also, Nike released their Kobe 4 shoe today. Let me see what their stock price did today. Whoops, not Nike Chase. The Nike stock went up 1.2. The Nike stock got to $127. We were just talking about that with Bavarian Illuminati, and then it went up 1.20. Again, Illuminati 120. Wow. The up 0.95% also stands out. Again, just the Jesuits credited counter, the 95 Theses, 95 weeks in a day, 666 days. Kobe had the 666 workout, had his career high 81 points in his 666th game. Again, Kobe Bean Bryant, 54-81, like Mark of the Beast. But if you write out 666, it also equals 95, being up 0.95%. Okay. Yeah, there's some other things that are interesting about Karl Lagerfeld. You know, his name Gematria syncs with the church and other things. But, yeah, just waiting 4 years to pay tribute. That's what screams out. In Illinois, they said there was a deadly dust storm today. There's crazy weather by the Great Lakes right now, cold and snow. Again, JFK gave his speech about the benefits of weather control, all things dualistic. You see how weather control is 177, 69, 201, just like the Jesuit order. The Kennedys, a family of Jesuits. But, and again, the first act of weather warfare admitted to on August 15th on the Jesuit order's birthday. But I just suspect that on the Illuminati's birthday, just crazy weather that causes this, probably not an accident. And there are several things that are interesting. Montgomery, Illinois, where they shut down the road at, equals 244. Today leaves 244 days left in the year. Illinois has that gematria of 54 like Bavaria. Illinois also has the gematria of 99, like how the Illuminati was founded on a date with 99 numerology. And then the country was named on 99 afterwards. And if you write out the United States of America, it's 99. It's also 144 like the Jesuit order. It's also 261 like how many days it was from Janet Yellen's birthday today, as she gave the warning for June 1st. And the thing about today's game between the 76ers and Celtics, they got all the 13s lined up if the Celtics win. The Illuminati was founded with 13 families, but it is very interesting that the 76ers, Illuminati in 1776, can get their 247th playoff win as a franchise on the 247th birthday of the Illuminati. So, again, the 76ers are a 10-point, or not, excuse me, the Celtics are a 10-point favorite. But yeah, sports and history so often synced up. You just got to say, what are the odds that they even have the chance of playing for their 247th win on the Illuminati's 247th birthday? So yeah, I think those were the main stories for today. Let me put my eyes on the chat real quick. And shout out to 13 Serpents who makes another donation. I appreciate it with the continued generosity. But okay, eyes on the chat. Are there any stories you saw today that I did not cover that I should have covered? So my eyes are on the chat. Let me know what stories you saw that I overlooked. But I have been writing away all day and trying to keep up with the news at the same time. The short Kobe book is coming very well. I think it'll be a quick read that will perk a lot of minds. And I'm trying to start it with Kobe, and then through Kobe introduce a bunch of things that have happened in recent history that are all very pertinent to the times we live in. And other suspicious deaths besides his, and how it all fits in with the church. But yeah, I'm trying to pull it all off. Pack it full of information, but not make it too long. And shout out to Dez, who I met in LA. He has a nicer, longer book he just finished that has a nice color coding to it. I'm going to reach out to him and see if he can help me with who published his book. If we can make it look that nice and clean, I think a lot more people will want to read it. So, thank you, Modoc, who says to hit the thumbs up. I appreciate that. I honestly have not looked much at the NBA draft. Or not the NBA, but the NFL draft. I know that the Eagles drafted all the Georgia players. And again, Philadelphia, the championship score was 58-7, 65 points, the big number in Philly. The guy who set fire to 2 mosques was arrested today. Here, let me see. I didn't hear about that story. Man who set fire to mosques arrested. This was in Minneapolis. He was charged. Okay, charged yesterday, arrested today. Okay, well, here's what stands out about that happening in Minneapolis. We know it's a very Catholic town. So again, it just reminds of, Crusades, Catholic Church, Islam. He attacked mosques. But remember, Today's the Order of Illuminati's birthday. Order of Illuminati 93. What illuminates the world? The sun that they say is 93 million miles away on average. Again, if you're new here, know that Illuminati also equals 150. Like they say, the sun is 150 million kilometers away on average. And heliocentrism, agreed to in the 16th century, the century of the Jesuits, the century of the calendar, the century of the language, the century they synced all this up. Again, heliocentrism has that 150 and 69 like Illuminati, 75 like Catholic Church, and 201 like Order of Illuminati. Again, the sun's at the center of it all, the object that illuminates everything, going with the moon landing, the illuminated rock in the sky, the moon landing on the 201st day of the year. Neil Alden Armstrong, 201 and 105 like Order of Illuminati, 84 like Jesuit. But okay, coming back to Order of Illuminati 93, Minneapolis, we call it the 93 city. It's on the 93rd Meridian West, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 93. So that's what jumps out to me about that happening today. And what did I do? All right, hold on. I want to see what the name of the man is. All right, let me get the story up here. Aren't we in the time of Ramadan right now, too? Ramadan dates. Oh, it's over. Never mind. It passed. Okay. Authorities have arrested and charged with arson a man who federal prosecutors said is responsible for setting fire at 2 Minneapolis mosques last month, according to a news release from the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Minnesota. Jack Rom Little, 36. Today's 36 days from Steven Tyler's birthday. Remember, 666 is the 36th triangular number. Also known as Joel Arthur Tooting. Here, we'll check both names and see what we got here. So his name is 157 like arson. Or what? I just misspoke. His name is 67 like arson. Arson is 67. So Jack Rom Little, 67, charged with arson, 67. And also known as... So, Joel Arthur Tooting, 224 and 235, like the Society of Jesus. That's the formal title of the Jesuits. But more importantly, notice the 80 in that same cipher, Bavarian Illuminati, 80. On the Illuminati's birthday. Little, who is expected to have a first court appearance Monday, and just, I was just saying the thing about 36, remember, Bavarian Illuminati 80, Satan 80, Baphomet 80, and the new House Party movie. There's a joke about the Illuminati. They pay tribute to the Stanley Kubrick film Eyes Wide Shut, and some people infiltrate the Illuminati party, and they figure out that they're outsiders because they say, God bless you, when somebody sneezes. And the Illuminati doesn't do God. They do Satan. So, anyway. Yeah, so, again, just his name equals arson, and his name equals Illuminati. On April 24th, the affidavit says Little was seen in surveillance footage going into the, I can't say it, El Rama Mosque, maybe Masjid El Rama Mosque. That day's written 24/4. Today leaves 244 days left in the year. The day before that, April 23rd, he was at the Masjid Omar Islamic Center. Here, let's just see. It's got that 74 number, big number with the church. That's the one on April 24th. The 313 is interesting too, because that's the 65th prime, and Knights Templar 65, which goes with the whole crusade thing. The other one, Masjid Omar Islamic Center, 99. Again, the Illuminati founded on a 99 date numerology. Also 153, like the Illuminati is 153. like Jesuit Orders 153. Maybe I've been sleeping on how the Illuminati equals 81, going with Kobe's whole thing. And the shoe coming out today. But yeah, also, if you're new here, about Minneapolis. So you see how Roman Catholic Church is 320 and 94? Again, Minneapolis is on Interstate 94. When they did the George Floyd thing, which was a huge Jesuit ritual, they pulled him out of a Mercedes-Benz ML 320 and killed him in front of Police Cruiser 320. Roman Catholic Church 320, who celebrated Jesus' birthday on Christmas Day since 320 AD. And it's the same church that celebrated the Son's birthday since 274 AD on 1225 Christmas Day. And the Jesuit motto, "E Sus Hominum Salvator," equals 274. From 274 AD to 320 AD is 46 years. Again, going with Catholic and the 46 books in the Catholic Old Testament. And again, JFK number 35, killed at age 46, and Joe Biden number 46, elected 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday. Elected 46 weeks after and inaugurated on the Pope's 35th day of his age. And again, Catholic 145, like 145 more chapters in the Catholic Old Testament, and Israel's establishment on the 14th day of the 5th month, and declared a nation by David Ben-Gurion, which equals 145. And again, State of Israel 201, and David Ben-Gurion dies 201 days after the anniversary of its establishment. Fulfilling biblical prophecy, which is important to the church. Who's got to keep people believing and trusting in authorities and waiting for men in the sky to come save them. So, yeah, that's what I got for now for the man arrested in Minneapolis. Appreciate the heads up on that. Thank you to Spatium Viator. Media made a big deal of number 33 pick Levi, who has a weird thing with mayo, just like Patty Mahomes and ketchup. Also, KC is known for Truman, the 33rd president. I'll have to look into that. Appreciate the heads up and the tip. Thank you. All right, I'm seeing if there's any other stories you guys want me to cover. What's up, Mr. Futures? I haven't seen Mr. Futures for a minute. There's supposedly a shooting in New Orleans. Is that today? Or was that over the weekend? It was over the weekend. But look at it, man. I mean, just look at it. I was going to make the point about 54 in New Orleans and the shooter's 54 years old. Or hold on. New Orleans, a shooting outside a well-known New Orleans restaurant Friday. It was actually Friday, so it was the 118th day of the year, number of death. Same night that the Texas shooting supposedly happened. Killed an employee, and one bullet penetrated the restaurant and wounded a Chicago tourist visiting New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival. Is that like some kind of Led Zeppelin tribute? They got the song about when the levees break, you better go to Chicago. Interim New Orleans Police Superintendent Michelle Woodfork told reporters Saturday that the shooting happened outside Mendina's restaurant in New Orleans' mid-city neighborhood. No suspects have been named. Woodfork said police believe two assailants targeted the waiter, whom family members identified to the Times of New Orleans as 23-year-old Hilbert Walker III. So, okay, 23-year-old shooter and 23. I guess the 54-year-old's a victim. A private security guard returned fire, Woodfork said, and was not injured. Diners told local news outlets that they dived to the floor seeking cover, and the police didn't let them leave for more than an hour. The 54-year-old Chicago woman was visiting for Jazz Fest and was at Mendina's to celebrate the birthday of a friend. Okay, so the woman who was shot from Chicago was 54. But before that, we even started looking at the story, it was just the first number I thought of, because New Orleans has the 54 and 144 like Jesuit order, and again, like Bavaria and like the Illuminati thing. But with regards to 54 in New Orleans, remember when Joe Burrow won the championship in New Orleans, he did it on a 54 date numerology, and he transferred to LSU the day Billy Cannon died, who had the same career outcome is Joe Burrow at LSU, winning the championship over Clemson and New Orleans and becoming the Heisman winner. But again, Billy Cannon died the day in history that the Jesuit founder Ignatius Loyola was shot with a cannonball. And then Joe Burrow in the 54th NFL season for the Bengals led them to the Super Bowl. And he was drafted after the Joe Montana Bowl, Super Bowl 54, between the Niners and Chiefs. And again, Joe Montana won 2 Super Bowls over the Bengals. Super Bowls, 16 and 23? And the last 2 years, the Niners and Bengals have both won their playoff games on the anniversary of Super Bowl 23. They did it this year as 2 and 3 seeds in the year 23. But anyway, 54 years. I mean, when you really just think about it, it's like, why is it so important that the woman was 54? Does that detail even need to be in the story? That's how I started to catch on that numbers were so important to these people, because they put them in everything when they really don't need to be there. The name of the restaurant again, they were visiting for the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival. That's got 150. They say in the story there's 150 cops. Again, we were just talking about, Illuminati. And again, here's the detail right here. The police department has about 150 to 180 officers. Where's the name of the restaurant again? Mandina's has the 140, 151. Adam Weishaupt numbers. I mean, it's the weekend right before. Anyway. Theme news. Numbers always so important. And shout out to Barbara again. Thank you, Barbara. MC Wave, thank you very much. Amy at cracktheircode.org with another donation and more decodes. She says, Janet Grissom, former aide to Mitch McConnell, dies. Okay, this is the turkey gobbler in Kentucky. I got to zoom this out. Why will it not let me zoom it out? I think they're trying to stop your article. What's going on here? This is weird. Okay. Something is so wrong with this. Died over the weekend. The senator announced Monday. She served us for 40 years. We just talked about where that fits in. She's got the numbers for Mitch McConnell overlapping with Jesuit order. They got all their puppets in just the right places. They announced the news on the 121st day of the year, big blood sacrifice number. Dead at age 73, big sacrifice number. Yeah, Mitch said she died over the weekend, but Wikipedia does show today. Saturday is the 119th day of the year. Sunday was the 120th. Friday was the 118th. From her birthday to the news being announced, 130 days, human sacrifice number. Also a Washington number, in light of these people being in D.C. Washington 130. Chief of Staff fits in with the whole Skull and Bones nickname. Mitch McConnell, 81 years old right now, ritual number. His birthday's 20/2, like 202, like the DC area code. Okay, I see the connections. She joined the White House under George H.W. Bush, a name equating to 51. The news breaks on 5/1. Again, Adam Weishaupt, 51, who founded the Illuminati on this day in history. Bush and Skull and Bones 76. The Illuminati founded in 1776. Skull and Bones modeled after the Bavarian Illuminati. I would just think after presenting this stuff for so many years, there'd be millions of people at this point who are ready to overthrow the government, because we can see what it is. It's this corrupt mob. And again, I mean, you think about Illuminati, Italian word, Vatican in Italy, Jesuits, Italy, Rome, Roman architecture in D.C. Like, even though a lot of people are aware of this, they're still comfortable enough where they're like, yeah, it is interesting, but man, I still got my Cheetos. So, good one, Amy. Thanks again. Shout out to John Mendoza who chipped in another $1. I appreciate it, John. Shout out to Scott Simmons who chipped in 5. Said, thank you, Zach. Share this work, everyone. I appreciate that. Thank you to everyone who hits the like. We're almost at 200 likes. I don't think we can end this stream until we're at least at 201 likes. All right, what other stories did I miss that I needed to cover? Any Yale students here? Hopefully you're a Yale student. If so, congratulations. Maybe that's somebody who met us last year when we were at the campus. Italian Jesuit 201. That's interesting. You see 131 likes, but if you hit the refresh, it'll go up to whatever the current level is. Because it won't. If you like join a video, if you join a video, you know, whatever the likes show at when you start, they don't increase unless you refresh the screen. You have to refresh the screen to get the current one. All right, we're 10 likes from the magic number. Let me just run across some other news media front pages. Of course, they got to have Russia-Ukraine up here, you guys, because remember, Order of Illuminati 201. Biden did his warning 201 days after his birthday for Putin not to invade Ukraine. That was in June of 2021 while he was at the European Union, Joe Biden, another 201. And then they met on Pearl Harbor Day, Biden and Putin, 201 days after the Ignatian year began, the first Jesuit Ignatian year. And then the war kicked off on the day we predicted it would in the Donbass region, which equals 201. And then a year to the day of Biden's warning for Putin not to go in, the Donbass region was fully taken over by Russia, was the headline. But, so of course the BBC's going big with Russia-Ukraine on the Illuminati's birthday. And remember, the Jesuits are a military order, so... Inside Denmark's secret nuclear bunker. Yellen warns U.S. could run out of cash with its Illuminati symbolism all over it in a month. Fighter jets are roaring over Sudan. Doja Cat and Lil Nas X arrive at the Met Gala, but not DMX, who died on Lil Nas X's birthday, who put out the Satan shoes. Of course, DMX said in his own music and in Belly that he sold his soul and the price was cheap. The shooting suspect that likely doesn't exist. Look at the big like Templar cross for the jewelry and work on the king's crown, who's about to get coronated on May 6th, 5/6, when the last King of England died at age 56. Again, royal family 56, Society of Jesus 56, founded in Paris, France, where Charles' wife died in the tunnel. Paris, France 56, like Ignatius Loyola, dead in 1556, 84 days from his birthday. And again, just, you know, the Queen dead 201 days after her coronavirus diagnosis, when corona means crown. We knew that was going to happen, that would finally tie in with the ongoing 56 patterns. And over in the UK, don't forget the first vaccinated person in the world was Maggie Keenan, whose name equals 56. And then next was William Shakespeare. And then Captain Tom died 56 days after Maggie Keenan was jabbed, supposedly from COVID. and one day after Burma's government fell, in a big Jesuit ritual when he was known for the Burma campaign, which equals 56, which is what George Orwell's first book is about, where the first number he mentions at the beginning of the book is 56. And then Captain Tom also died 201 days after being knighted by the Queen. Maybe that's that all-mocking tongue in the football photo that Jim Carrey was talking about when he made fun of the Illuminati on Jimmy Kimmel in the Masonic Temple where they broadcast from. All right, so BBC, Fox News. Fox News is focused on climate change today. There's another one. You know, they like to do the Paris Climate Accords, but climate change is another 56. And for the record, I mean, the Illuminati symbolism, the all-seeing eye, that's another 56. The guy who wrote the Da Vinci Code, he turned 56 in 2020 when everything was 56 with the pandemic. 56 years after Trump's Jesuit education began. A bride had just gotten married in South Carolina. Hours later, an intoxicated driver killed her, police say. Because that's a reason that we should have to give up our privilege of driving and allow the new AI cars to just take over that responsibility too. It's time to worry about a U.S. default for real this time. So again, I just want you guys to think about this if they end up going through with this, causing the default in the political battle. Again, the politicians, it'll just be the U.S. politicians that caused it by not just simply voting to raise the debt ceiling. And again, you think that the logical thing would be like, look, we are spending way too much. We need to do something about this debt. Let's raise the ceiling so we don't default, and then let's quickly begin to correct the problem. Wouldn't that be like the sensible way to go about it without causing a cataclysm? But they got to play these games. And remember what they just did the other day. You know, McCarthy got his debt ceiling bill exactly 90 days after his birthday, and debt ceiling's 90 in the most simple cipher. Notice it's also 54, like Jesuit order, like Bavaria, like this being front and center in the news on the anniversary of the Bavarian Illuminati, who's got their symbolism all over the dollar. All these just storylines that people just go along with that are obvious BS. One obvious BS story after the next to explain why the latest bad thing happened to all of us. Like people can't see through this little simple game. There's the New York City headline. NYC to give out 500 Apple AirTags for residents to put in their cars to combat car theft. Don't forget, that's the same company that priced their first consumer computer at $666.66, when in Sumerian Gematria, computer and internet are 666. Hold up, though. I'm pulled in by this headline right here about how you can get a Vitamix at the lowest price ever. Is that true in the time of inflation? Wow, $250. I've never actually seen a Vitamix that low. By the way, you guys, not to plug Amazon, that's who's selling it, but seriously, a Vitamix is a good product. I'll say that. They do cost a lot, but they're good because if you ever had a blender and use it a lot, it usually dies. You wear out the motor in no time. I've had my Vitamix for like a decade now. And I use it all the time, and it goes as strong as it did. I mean, it's dingy and beat up now, but it works just as well as it did day one. And it's just like the ultimate thing of just turning a bunch of food into a liquidy beverage you can drink down. Like, especially in the summer months. I love just grinding up a bunch of veggies and fruit and having that for the first meal of the day. So anyway, if you've got a few extra bucks, I've never really seen them for cheaper than like $400. So if you want to eat healthy and unless they started making them cheaper, maybe that's why the price is low now. Maybe it's made cheap and you have to replace it in 2 years. I don't know. says it's regularly 500. But yeah, Vitamix, not a bad product. Not a bad product. And actually, the funny way that I got my first one was I actually bought mine used from my buddy. He had 2 of them, so he sold me his for like $200 over 10 years ago. And going as great as ever. But yeah, put the right things in, you'll definitely live longer. All right, we eclipsed. We're at 221 likes. Go figure. Oh no, spoon in the Vitamix and broke it. Man, you must have left it in there for a while. Woo. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Yeah, you're right. Kentucky Derby is another 56, and they did do the post positions today. So I gotta finish up my Kentucky Derby notes with the post position information. We'll leave it there for now, you guys. Thank you to the super chatters. I do appreciate the generosity. Let me make sure I said thank you to everybody real quick. And then I think we hit all the main headlines. Hopefully we wake up a few more people. One broadcast at a time. Let's see. Okay, again, super chatters. Thank you, Caesar, Scott, Simones, John Mendoza, Amy, cracktheircode.org, MC Wave, Barbara, Spatium Viator, and 13 Serpents. I appreciate the generosity. And again, if you guys are not subscribed to Amy's channel, it's just Crack Their Code, all one word. She's doing good work over there, keeping up with a lot of the headlines. And her website is almost the same thing, cracktheircode.org, just like she has up there. Just like I run the website GematriaEffectNews, where I post everything and then usually present it on YouTube. She has the website cracktheircode.org, where she posts and then presents from her website. Again, for all of you guys who only consume content through YouTube, remember it is helpful to use other people's platforms. It's kind of how the whole internet works. If things are getting more clicks, it's more likely to raise to the top of algorithms, and more strangers are likely to find it from a YouTube video to a website. But yeah, we will leave it there for now. And I think that's all. Have a good rest of your evening, Truth Seeker. Shortly, I'll have the draft version of the Kobe Bryant, the short Kobe Bryant book. You guys can let me know what you think. I'll get your feedback. We'll perfect it. And we'll get that thing out for distribution so it's ready for August 24th. And again, I am looking forward to going back to California, and I think we will be a lot more successful on Kobe Bryant Day because we have a lot more time to market the day, and we learned from our experience in the past weeks. And again, there was already good teamwork out there in the first go. I think it's going to be a lot better the second time around. So if you're in Southern California, plan for that day. Come out and be part of the group. Help us get out the word and light some minds, and hopefully start to change the world for the better. So that's it for now. Until next time.